Yeah, Siniji, you can just introduce yourself and Janki ji.
Sure. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Janki ji. Janki ji is our versatile spiritual path follower for the past years. Like she said, she is a global citizen. I think born in the US, grew up in Kuwait, lived in Jakarta, now in Mumbai, soon to be in Singapore. She's truly global in that sense. What's very interesting about Janki ji is that she has a classical music and dance background. And as you're aware, in our Sanskriti, all classical music and dance is linked to God and spirituality, all of it, right? So she found her path to spirituality latterly through our satsang, which she has joined. And she is the sort of the author of our Singapore, of our Indonesia chapter, vibrant chapter with more than 400 people in that chapter. A lot of them young children as well, whom she is personally mentored into our youth sessions. So popular is it that it has been continuing now for 6-7 years, and now the youth who have come through those sessions are themselves self-conducting the sessions on Bhagavad Gita. So she's a very popular speaker among our youth satsangs. She takes youth satsangs for children from across the globe. India, United States, UK, Ireland. Many people join her satsang because she makes the topics so relevant for the youth of today and makes it so interesting. Incidentally, my son is one of her fans. You know, father is never fan. Fan ho sakta hai, aisa son ho nahi sakta. So my son is incidentally one of the fans of Janki ji, and he swears by her sessions and never misses one, which is very, for a 19, 20-year-old to do that, not to miss a single Bhagavad Gita session, is saying something about the speaker. So that's Janki ji for you. Instead of me blowing my own trumpet, let's see whether Anup ji is there. No, he's not there. So Janki ji, do you want to talk a bit about me? You're back on the spot.
Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you so much for inviting us to speak on such a beautiful platform here. Sriniji is a person who actually dons so many hats, literally, because to begin with, chartered accountant, who's in his 30 years of career spanning India, Middle East, Singapore. He's worked with international banks and ultimately reached, just imagine this, he reached a point where he was board -2 level in the bank. Okay. And over the past 4 years, from this stage, for the past 4 years, what he did is took early retirement to engage fully in driving projects to create noble civil servants through, the combined civil service exams that we have in India. He's addressed. I don't want to limit the kind of the groups that he has addressed, because if he's addressed principals, he's addressed cadets, officers at Indian Naval Academy, doctors at Armed Forces Medical College, senior executives of Tata Power Company, teachers, principals of so many schools, including the JNVs. He's addressed international audiences in Singapore, the US, UK, Bangkok, Delhi, Dubai, Bahrain, etc. And he undoubtedly leaves a mark wherever he goes. It's not just his laughter, which you'll hear in a bit, but it's also the depth of insight that he gives every single point that we discuss. He's been involved in the spiritual path for over 30 years now, and his repertoire of speaking covers uh, to actually sit and discuss all the scriptures that he's actually gone through and the books that he's gone through will be it'll take us another hour or so, so I won't do that. But Bhagavad Gita, Viveka Chudamani, Panchatashi, to name a few, but also leadership and personality development. A lot of talks on that. The Dale Carnegie texts and other amazing texts. He has given us all talks, and other people talks on these as well. What stands out in this list is, of course, his 100+ workshops on personal empowerment for over, so many schools, more than 100 schools, JNV government residential schools, remote locations of India. This is all in connection with that creating noble civil servants. Lives in Mumbai, and is one of our most loved and amazing, cheerful, amazing speakers. So over to Sriniji.
Jai Shri Krishna, I was hoping that I was going to button and stop you somewhere, but thank you for stopping. Otherwise, it will be all about me and not about the session itself. And कितना झूठ बोलेंगे हम? थोड़ा हद तक ही झूठ बोल सकते हैं. So, okay. Thank you very much for inviting us, and thank you for taking an hour out from your precious day and your precious weekend. I hope this hour proves useful for you. Like I was telling Ritesh and Jagdish, it will prove useful for us for sure. We are very self-centered and selfish in that way because we hear what we are speaking. So it's going to be proving useful for us. I hope it's useful for you too. So very interesting session, Laugh to Live. We are going to take it in 3 parts today. Part 1 of the session is going to be about learning to laugh at myself. So not to take ourselves so seriously. The second part of the session is going to be about learning to laugh with the world when the world laughs at us, of course. So not taking the world view of us so seriously. And the third part of the session is हम आज से आज के आनंद में कैसे रहें. From today, how we be in today's happiness. कल क्या हुआ और कल क्या होगा इसकी चिंता न करें. How to be like that, right? That's the third part of the session. And then we'll have a wrap up, and then we will have a question answer session at the end of it. We hope to be speaking for about 30-35 minutes. So please bear with us for that period of time. And then we will open the floor for questions. We are happy to take any questions you wish to ask us. Even if it would be outside the topic, if you know the answer, we will trot it out. If you don't know, then we can discover it together. So there was this kingdom where they used to choose a king for 5 years. Anybody could be king. There was only one condition, that at the end of 5 years, they plucked the king from his throne. The people came, plucked the king from his throne, put him forcibly into a boat, took him across a very wide river. On the other side of the river, there was a big jungle. In that jungle, there were very many wild animals. They just threw the king there, and without looking back, came away. The wild animals swallowed finished off that king. New king was chosen, right? This was the pratha. So naturally, there was not a long queue for becoming king because 5 saal ke baad 100% mouth. But there were some people who thought 5 saal to maja karenge. So the general tendency used to be 3 saal bahut maja karega, raj karega. 4tha saal thoda sad ho jayega. 5वां saal full depression. And by the time the end of 5th year comes, he'll be in deep depression, and they will have to forcibly pick him up from the throne and throw him. This used to be the general trend. So they chose a king like that once, and for 3 years he ruled well. 4th year also he was ruling with aplomb very happily. 5th year also he was happy. No depression, nothing. They thought, kya karne kya wala? Is he going to do a coup or something? At the end of the 5th year, when they said your time is up, he said, I am also ready to go, he said. So he simply got up from his throne and walked like a king to the boat. They had never seen this happen in their entire lifetime in the kingdom, right? So this king walked to the boat and they crossed across the wide river. What did they see on the other side? Thousands of people waiting to receive this person as their king. So they were shocked. On the other side, there was deep jungle, wild animals. Where did these thousands of people come? So this person said, look, when I got on to the throne, I knew I was king for 5 years. You know what I did the first year? I sent your best hunters to the other side. I told them, go there, finish off all the wild animals and push them back. Second year, I sent all your carpenters and your best farmers to the other side. Told them, clear the woods, clear the land, start farming. Third year, I sent all your commerce people, best of them, to start businesses. 4th year, I sent your intellectuals over. 5th year, I myself arrived. Now I am king. What king? Permanent king. See? So he knew he had 5 years and he used those 5 years well. Do we know how much time we have? No. We don't know how much time we have because nobody knows what our expiry date is. Nobody knows that. So the purpose of reciting this story is so that we too, like this wise king who knew he had limited time, he used that limited time to prepare his life in a manner where he could be happy always. I like the name Lost Keys, by the way. I told Jagdish ji that. I love that name Lost Key. Because in our satsang, we talk about lost key also, incidentally. And we say it is the lost keys of our happiness. हमने क्या किया है? We have made many keys of our happiness. Inside us, there is happiness. We have made many keys and given it to various people. Mother-in-law, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, in-law, outlaw, boss, driver, maid. भर भर के सबको दिया है की. And we have told them, whenever you want, happiness लूट सकता है तुम हमारा. And they took it seriously. See? So just when I am ready to go, non-COVID times, just when I am ready to go for a movie, all dressed and ready, the maid is supposed to come and take care of the children. The maid phones. Madam, मी आज नाही येणार. Click. नाही येणार? And you try again. तुम्ही ज्या नंबरवर फोन करू इच्छिता ते नंबर आता switched off आहे. What happened to the happiness? लूट लिया. हमें तो लूट लिया मिलके हुस्न वालों ने. या कोई भी होगा उनको हमने lost की. So what is the purpose of spirituality? The purpose of spirituality should be to withdraw these keys which we have given to people so that we can take our happiness of today. Don't wait for the happiness for tomorrow. Take it today. That is the purpose of today's session. So if this session helps you to take away some pieces of knowledge, not as knowledge, because think about it like this, a cup of coffee in which you put 2 spoons of sugar, okay, but you don't shake it. Is that sugar useful for the coffee? No, the coffee will still taste kadwa. But once you mix that sugar in the coffee, what happens to that sugar? Can you see the sugar anymore? You can't. But every kan of that coffee now tastes sweet. Does it not? Knowledge from spirituality has got to be similarly seen. All other knowledge, maths knowledge, science knowledge, geography knowledge, share trading knowledge, all other knowledge is arudha on us, is sitting on top of us. We remain the same. The angry me now is also a stockbroker. The angry me is also a mathematics knowledgeable person. The me never changes. If spirituality also becomes like this, the me never changes. On top of me is now Bhagavad Gita knowledge. Bad outcome. Bad outcome, right? So if the outcome of this session is that some part of that knowledge is able to be percolated into my personality, like sugar percolated into coffee, then the session is useful. Otherwise, I would have wasted an hour's time of yours. I hope I don't waste it. So I hope that at the end of this session, you learn some things about how to withdraw some of the keys of happiness, lost key, your own group name, how to withdraw those keys of happiness from various people you are given it to, so that you can enjoy a more happy life with not an iota of change in your circumstance. See, mother-in-law doesn't come with 10-day return offer like Amazon. She's there for life. Wife cannot be returned. No return offer. She's there for life. Husband is there for life. No return offer possible. Amazon जैसा possible नहीं है. उनके साथ ही रहना है, पर उनके साथ रहते हुए कैसे सुखी रहे. I'm not saying you cannot stay with the wife happily. Don't think about it like that. But जो भी व्यक्ति मुझे unhappiness दे रहा है, who has given me unhappiness, not to change the person, change my perspective so that I can live happily still. That is a limited purpose of this session. Without further ado, I will hand over to Janki ji for the first topic, how not to take ourselves so seriously.
Thank you, Sriniji. Tough one, right? How not to take yourself seriously. That's the first lost key. Among all those lost keys, there's a golden key, and this is it. The golden key is your own happiness, and you yourself have done something to it. You've lost the ability to laugh at yourself. You've lost the ability to take yourself a little lightly. See, there was a man who was once very worried about his wife. He thought she needed a hearing aid. And so on the advice of his doctor, he decided to check how bad it was exactly. So he stood about 40 feet away, just like the doctor had said. He stood away about 40 feet away from her. And in a very normal tone, he asked her, "My dear, what's for dinner?" No response. Then he goes 30 feet close, near her, 20 feet, 10 feet. Each time his voice is getting louder and louder, and he's repeating the question. He's not getting any response. Finally, he's just behind her and he asks again in a slightly irritated, loud voice. She turns around and says with an exasperated tone, "For the fifth time, it is aloo paratha." So, who was deaf? Not her, it was him. But I am like that man. I need to understand how flawed I am rather than assume, presume that the fault is someone else's. I do that all the time. But once I'm able to see my own flaws, I'll be able to see them in a very different light. I can genuinely laugh at myself and move on, move forward. See, we've been told very often we have to take ourselves seriously. And somehow I think we've misunderstood what this concept of taking ourselves seriously means. I think we have to laugh at ourselves very seriously. Of course, when we laugh at ourselves, now I'm not saying we have to do it in a very self deprecating way. See, that will make me feel very bad. I'm not trying to do that. But more and more, I tell myself and remind myself that I'm a work in progress and I can enjoy this journey of the progress. I need to laugh once in a while, right? So I can laugh, I can start laughing. So we saw how I can't laugh at myself first because I don't see the problem in myself. Another reason is that I often think that I am the most interesting, most impressive, most important, and therefore indispensable, isn't it? See, there was a sculptor who carved very beautiful idols. One day, he had to take one of these idols to a goddess to for delivery to someone. So he mounted the idol on a donkey and he started off. Now, as they walked along, many people were there who started to admire the idol. Some of them, did arti to the idol. Some of them bowed down to the idol, all in respect for the goddess, right? They did that. Now, the donkey at some point started thinking that people were admiring him. हो सकता है ना? They were admiring him, right? So the donkey stopped halfway through. It said, "Are, I've heard a lot from people around me that when people start giving you importance, you have to make it worth their while, isn't it?" So he says, "I have to make it worth their while that everybody is bowing down to me." So he started to bray loudly and started a little dance which would impress everyone. The sculptor tried gentle words, he tried actions to pacify him. Kuch nahi hua. The donkey refused to stop. The donkey refused to stop all this dance and braying. And finally, so much so that the idol almost fell off. The sculptor took one hard stick and thrashed the donkey. Donkey came back to his senses and walked on humbly. I often think I'm so good. And maybe I am also good. Maybe I am. But humility na, वो बात थोड़ा lacking है. Real humility will allow me to see myself honestly that I'm not the sole cause of all my excellence. What? You say I'm not the sole cause because I always thought I was. No. The answer is a big resounding no. And that's when I'm able to start giving credit to so many around me who've also helped. I'm not sitting on an island. I'm not done everything on my own. Most importantly, I'll be able to attribute my achievements to that supreme, supreme force, God. And the gratitude will just pour itself out. Will it? Well, on practice, we've seen that we actually need to practice pouring this kritagnyata or gratitude out because it doesn't come. It's a muscle that I need to flex because it's so easy to talk about what I'm not grateful for. But the moment I start speaking about what I am grateful for, I'll realize that the scale is really lopsided. The number of things I'm actually grateful for will be much more than those things that I'm not grateful for, if I'm honest with myself. So, a gratitude journal is one of the most important practice points to have on a daily basis. Write down three things at least that you're grateful for every day. And we always say it can't be the same three things every day, okay? Can't be the same air that you breathe and the looking desperately for something to be grateful for. You start looking around honestly and you'll see so much. That's life changing. It's amazing when you look back at situations that were very uncomfortable, unfair. When you start writing this gratitude journal, you start smiling at all these old situations. You can laugh. You will really be able to laugh at how serious you were in that moment. At that moment, it seemed very, very crucial, very uncomfortable, very terrible. You'll understand now by smiling and laughing at it that you learned from the situation, you were able to move on, and you were ignorant at that time. So now take a chill pill. Take a chill pill and keep going, right? You'll be able to shrug off a lot of things that are inconsequential, right? See, a couple of years back, I heard about this actress who tripped on her way. All of us must have seen it on the news. She tripped on her way to receive the Oscar for Best Actress. Just imagine, okay, you're getting the Oscar for Best Actress, once in a lifetime thing, and you're tripping on the staircase there. And when the audience gave her a standing ovation, not for the tripping, but for the actress, for the role she had played, she laughed. She said, "You guys are just standing up because I fell and because it's embarrassing and you don't want me to feel so bad, but thank you so much." What had she done? The actress had laughed at herself. She took the situation very lightly. She laughed at herself and she won over the audience. Best part is that her joke didn't hurt anyone else. It elevated her mood and everyone else's mood as well. Finally, you want to laugh, just do this exercise. Sunday evening, na, or after that nice chai at home, sit down with your family. Everybody, just get everybody around and sit down with them and sit down there and tell them how awesome you are. Tell them how awesome you are. Tell them how you're so perfect and you never make mistakes. And then pause. What will they be doing? Undoubtedly roaring with laughter. Now copy what they're doing. You'll have learned to laugh at yourself. Okay, but Sriniji, okay, this part I got. Okay, I can laugh at myself now. But what about the world view of who I am and what I am? I can't take that lightly, Sriniji.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like this mosquito, which went for its first udan, first trip out when it flew its first flight. So it went for the first flight, came back, and the mother mosquito asked, "Beta, kaisa tha tumhara first flight?" So the mosquito said, "Mother, it was superb. Many people were clapping for me." See? So this is called appreciation of the world. Okay, this is called appreciation of the world. Okay, एक प्रियसी और एक प्रियकर, boy and girl, were sitting during, and the girl asked the boy, "Darling, how much you love me?" So he said, "As many stars there are in the sky, that much I love you." The girl was very confused. She looked up, it was daytime, no stars. "But there are no stars," she said. She said, "Exactly." That is called how much the world loves us. Think about it. I like the fact that Jagdish said we are all from corporates. I've also been in the corporate environment, right? There is no other environment better to teach us how changeable and quickly changeable worldview is of us than when you're in the top of a corporation. Think about it. See, MD sahib wale, MD sahib wale, sab salam sir, yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir, all that they will do. Till when? Till your retirement comes and the party, some false tears are shed for you. Actually, they are tears of happiness that this guy is going at last. But we take it as tears of sadness. Hey, रोना मत, हम वापस आ सकते हैं. वो लोगों को डर लगता है. By mistake आ गया तो. So we go And then after 1 month, we want to come back. Even the watchman below will say, Thamba Saib aayeka bagawa lage. You'll have to see whether Saib is there. Wait. Think. Haven't we seen this? Haven't we seen it in our own corporate life, where we worked with somebody for 6 years and then there comes a abhi ho raha hai na, COVID related cuts, right? And suddenly half the floor is gone. We worked with them for 6 years. 6 months later we say, "Oh, tha na re, udhar baithta tha na re, uska naam kya tha re, kya, what his name was, that person who used to give us that report is not coming." We have even forgotten that person's name. Think about it. There are 37 or 38 Bharat Ratnas. I am not talking about the next and Vibhushan and Padma Vibhushan or some. Nahi. Bharat Ratna, 37 or 38. Please name them. Unless you are a UPSC student, not possible. Not possible to name 38 Bharat Ratnas. But Bharat Ratna hai. India का सबसे बड़ा गौरव सम्मान नहीं मालूम है. अच्छा वो छोड़ दो. Today is the 46th president. Tell us about the 42nd and 43rd president of United States. 15 minutes, संक्षिप्त में, in summary, can you tell us his great achievements? 4 plus 4, 8 years ka, you have to only summarize 15 minutes. That's all. I'm not asking you to give a one-day lecture. 15 minutes. पहले तो पहचानना पड़ेगा कौन है वो. Who is this president? 42nd, 43rd, मालूम नहीं. अरे 4 president पहले भाई. Every day in the news. But what happened to him? Gone. We don't even remember who he is. Forget about remembering his achievements. Think about it. So the world view of us, which we consider so significant, You know, 1 month before retirement, if the Darban doesn't stand up, we feel upset. अभी 1 महीना बाकी है, खड़ा रहो, stand up, salute मारो, 1 महीना बाकी है बोलते हैं अपन. Think. So significant, I consider that worldview that changes like that. Haven't we seen it in the corporate world? All of us have. The most important person in the corporate. Acha, very good. Very nice. If you think that, then you have another thing coming. Because when you leave that company and go, Jungle Book, if you have seen, not the recent one, the old cartoon Jungle Book. In that, towards the end, when Balu the bear goes to the monkey kingdom, the whole temple is falling and the monkey king is holding the whole temple up. From behind, the whole temple has fallen. Only one slab is left on his head, but he thinks he's holding the whole temple. Oh, ऐसा हाथ चल रहा है उसका. एक ही slab है. That is what is the real value the world has of us. Now you might think, ये हंसने वाले सेशन में खड़ूस व्यक्ति कहां से आ गया? बहुत रुलाया हमको. सच के बारे में बता के बहुत खड़ूस आदमी है. जानकी जी अच्छी थी, 2-3 जोक्स बोल के हंसा के तो गई. देखो, बट ये अगर हमारा व्यू नहीं है, then every shift in the world's opinion will cause heartbeats for us. Think. If I am not complete within myself, that is why the Bhagavad Gita says, one whose happiness is within, who is complete within and lives within, who's centered in himself, that person doesn't look for validation from outside. Does it mean you don't take feedback? No. Common sense says that every person is a work in progress. That is why you should learn to laugh at yourself, like Janki ji said. Nobody is a finished product at any age. Nobody is a finished product. Everybody is a work in progress. If I accept that I'm a work in progress, then the world view of me as feedback will not be a problem. If it is not a feedback, if it is just what the world thinks of me, which is wrong, it is not a problem. Think about it. Changeable दुनिया में हमको unchanging happiness चाहिए. मिलेगा? Is it possible in the changing world to search for unchanging views? Impossible. See, pants went from tight to bell bottom to elephant bottom. Have you seen Amitabh Bachchan dance? Sara Zamana in Yarana. If you say yes, that means you're as old as me. Remember that. So you say, I have no idea, Yarana, I don't know. Because I was too young. You have to say that. Elephant bottom pants. See, that is the way of the world. Always changing. So I have to look within myself and ask myself, where is it that I feel empty, that I'm filling with these world views of myself? Because those are going to change. And then that emptiness will be revealed as a wound inside me, which will hurt. So you don't want to be unhappy with the changing nature of the world. Then this in essence, cause of the Bhagavad Gita. The ethos of the Bhagavad Gita is this, that it wants to show us the changeable nature of the world, so that we don't attach too much significance to what the world is telling me. Applies to mothers also. You know, beta is always mummy, 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 mummy. Very nice. You know, such an obedient son. I have got such an obedient son. Let him go to hostel. Wait. If he has not gone to hostel, let him go to hostel. Then you will send him long read more wala WhatsApp. You know, read more wala WhatsApp, where you have to press read more for more to appear. Aisa hua, that person came, this person said that, this, babu, you say. Big WhatsApp like that, right? And he sends back a reply. K. Okay bhi nahi. K. Same beta was doing mummy, mummy is now saying K. You call him. How are you? Okay. How things? Okay. पढ़ाई कैसे चल रहा है? Okay. यानी उसके अलावा उसके बाद शब्द नहीं है आपके लिए. और दो क्वेश्चन पूछेगा तो मम्मी, I have to go for class. I'll call you later. Okay, bye. Click. And हम क्या बोलते हैं? जब दिल ही टूट गया, हम जी के क्या करेंगे? ऐसा गाना गाने का है. This is the course of life. This is how it has been. This is how it will be. If I set too much in store by what the world thinks of me, by what the world needs from me, there will come a time when the world doesn't need it from me or doesn't think much of me. Ask the tycoon who was lying helpless after paralytic attack at his home, and ask him how many people came to visit him when the tycoon's son had taken over already. Sons had taken over already. Find out how many people came to visit him. None, bar his wife. So think and reduce the pressure of world opinion on me by becoming conscious of it. That's all. Being more mindful of it. That's all. And then one will find ourselves that what the world says, we can laugh with it. So Janki ji, आज का आनंद आज कैसे लें? बताइए.
Yeah, how to? Huh? Yeah, I think that's a very important question. See, like Sriniji said very beautifully. See, the value I give to others' view of myself is I have to discount it. Now, if I can discount that and do maja, literally, I'll move from living in a constant battlefield. We always say Ranabhumi to Rangabhumi. We'll go from the battlefield to playground. Every day will be like that. See, there was a man in a puja room. He was in his house, he was in the puja room doing puja. Okay. And he felt he was doing really good puja. 2-3 घंटे शायद, I think he must have been sitting there doing all the prayers, everything. The only other person in the house was the daughter-in-law at that particular point of time. Somebody knocked on the door or rang the doorbell. So she went to answer it, and somebody was there and said, Are, can I speak to your father-in-law? She said, no, he's gone to the cobbler's shop. This man in the puja room is putting one flower and he's stopping and saying, "What? Cobbler shop? I'm here, no? Why is she lying? I'll catch her." So then again, after a little while, there's somebody else at the doorbell at the door. Again, she goes and says the same thing. She does this 3-4 times. Now this man is like, he's putting the flowers, he's doing the puja, but under say there is fuming going on, boiling going on, all that is happening. At the end of this puja, he comes out, and you can imagine the state he is at. He comes to his daughter-in-law and says, "Come here and sit down. Why did you lie? I've been doing puja all this time and I feel very hurt by what you've done. Why have you lied to all these people who came and asked for me? They all asked for me and you said I'm in the cobbler store." She said, "While you were doing your puja and putting all those flowers and saying all those mantras, how many times did you call out to me and say, Bahu, just check if my chappal has come back from the cobbler store? Did the cobbler call? Did the cobbler call? Did the cobbler call?" 4 or 5 times. I counted. 4 or 5 times you actually asked me. So where were you? You thinking about your chappal or you're doing your puja? I think you were at the cobbler store. That's why I told the truth. So, like that man, very often I'm neither here nor there. I'm sitting here, we're all sitting and listening to something, and I'm thinking of the latest movie being screened on Amazon Prime Video. Latest movie chal raha hai, mujhe dekhna hai. While I'm watching that, I'm thinking I've left something on the stove. I forgot to switch it off. While I'm cooking, I'm thinking of something. You get my drift, right? This goes on and on. We just keep doing this. To laugh in life, I have to learn to be in the present moment. And I have to be happy in that present moment, every present moment. How? In a lifespan of approximately 100 years or so, we have 36,500 days to live in. The thing is, at any point of time, we don't have 36,500 days. They all present themselves as only one day, which is today. Today is the 7th of November. 7th of November, at this moment, I cannot go back to the 6th of November. I cannot go forward to the 8th of November. I'm stuck on the 7th of November. So while I'm on 7th of November, I have only today. Now imagine if this one thought process, this concept becomes a part of me. In my 100 years, each moment would be complete in itself. But actually what happens is this. In my 100 years, I probably have a certain number of days where something terrible happened. Somebody hurt me, somebody spoke something terrible to me and I felt really hurt. Somebody else got hurt, death of a loved one, loss, whatever has happened. Khul milke, I can actually count those number of days specifically and it will total to about 90. Okay, we'll round it off to 100. Okay, 100 days, agreed, there were problems, which means the remaining time, 99 years, and say about 9 months or so. Okay, take more months, no problem. 99 years hi rakho. Chalega. 99 years I should be happy, no? Am I? Why? Because I keep bringing back those 100 days into all the other days in the 99 years, isn't it? Just think, we cry at the same stories again and again. I can tell you about stories that have happened 20 years back. Somebody who said something to me, not even did, something said in the passing maybe, but it hurt me. And I can talk about it even now and I can shed a couple of tears also while talking about it. But I can't laugh at a joke for the second time. This is the tragedy of humankind, right? You can't laugh at the jokes for the second time. We, in our satsang, in our group, all of us, one thing we've learned to do is laugh at the same joke again and again. And I can tell you something, it gives you so much new perspective on the same joke. Kalidasa, great poet, this is back in 5th century, not now. But he wrote of this in the poem called Salutations to Dawn. such an amazing poem. He says, yesterday is just a dream. Gaya. Tomorrow is just a vision, and you're sitting on that imaginary tomorrow and basing all your hopes on it. Great Mark Twain, author of Huckleberry Finn, wrote, a very beautiful statement. He says, in my life, I have known many problems. Okay. And then he says, I've 50% of them haven't even happened yet. Matlab, half your problems are imaginary. The only moment you truly get to live in is now. So make the best of it now, and you make the choice to be happy now. There was a gymnast. Uh, it's based on a true story. There was a movie called Peaceful Warrior, in which there's a gymnast who's trying to get his moment of glory, and he meets a guru, a mechanic who is also a guru for him, and he meets him on a bridge, and he tells him, Guru, I need to, give me quick lesson, because we are in a age of what do we call it? Instant gratification. My friends call it instant gratification. Matlab, abhi ke abhi chahiye. I mean, like, I want it now, right? So we are in the day of instant everything. So he says, teach me lesson also right now. I should just get it. So the guru looks at him for a minute and he says, kya kare iske saath? He pushes him off the bridge. This boy falls into the water, and you can imagine the anger. Again, he's coming out of the water, spluttering and all that. And he goes and says, what was that? And the guru says, you said you were in a hurry, na? And he says, so? Guru says, I emptied your mind. When you were falling, what were you thinking about? Were you thinking about your trophy? Were you thinking about school? Were you thinking about shopping? What were you thinking about? He says, no, I was just falling. Guru says, you were present. You were present in the moment, 100% in the experience. Only this moment matters. And if you understand that, and if you're truly in every moment, you won't miss out. Because we tend to miss out on a lot of what is happening, right? We miss out when we postpone our happiness. And I can see a lot of people immediately thinking, no, I don't postpone my happiness. I don't do it. I do that purposely. What am I mean, why would I do that to myself, right? See, I had a friend who once sought a promotion at work. Okay, and he felt it was coming any day. Abhi, it's coming. At around the same time, his son got first rank in a very competitive exam. Amazing. He outranked the entire state. You can think he outranked the entire nation also. It doesn't matter. The fact is, the desperation in seeking that promotion that he wanted, unfortunately, did not allow him to truly celebrate his son's great success. He couldn't celebrate it. You keep looking for that one big thing. All the small joys that are happening every day, you miss out. They look like they're very small, but together they are what give you your happiness. Another friend bought, after a lot of hard work and struggle, khoon pasina as we call it, he bought finally a beautiful 2-bedroom apartment. Okay, really, he was very, very proud of his achievement, very happy with what he had done. And he was eager to share it. So he was just about to pick up the phone to call his neighbor and say, I want to have taza khabar, I want to tell you what happened types. But just as he's about to call it his neighbor calls him first. And neighbor says, Arey, I wanted to share with you good news. He says, Arey, my words he's stealing. I know I want to share. Before he can say anything, the neighbor says, no, I want to share very good news with you. We've just purchased a seaside villa in Goa. You can hear it. I can hear it. The balloon is going. Can you hear it? In that man's mind, that is what happened. The matter of fact is, like Sriniji said, the key to happiness, that golden key, is you cannot give it to anyone else. Keep it with you where it should be. To laugh in life, therefore, you have to start from a place of happiness. Nobody starts from a place of sadness. Nobody gets up in the morning and says, Aaj dukhi hona hai. but ho jata hai kabhi kabhi. But you have to start from a place of happiness. You have to get up and say, I have no right to be miserable. And when you do this, what are you vowing to do? You're vowing to be in a sincere mode rather than a serious mode. Seriousness is not required in life. Sincerity is. Let's laugh. Sriniji.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Janki ji. Excellent. Yeah. So there was this forest, and in the forest there was a tree, which was on the edge of a sannyasi's ashram. On that tree, there were a lot of parrots. Sannyasi heard one day that a hunter is going to come to capture the parrots, not carrots, parrots, right, and take them to the city for selling. So he had some pity for them because itna saal sahwas hua hai hamara. So he had some pity. So he told one parrot, hey parrot, come here. So he told the parrot, repeat after me. Hunter will come. Repeat. Parrot said, hunter will come. He will throw dana. Don't go for dana. He will throw dana. Don't go for dana. Under dana, there is net. You will get caught. Repeat. Under dana, there is net. You will get caught. You understood? Parrot said, yes, sir. Go and tell all your brothers and sisters. So the parrot went to the tree. Very soon, the whole tree was singing this song. What? Hunter will come. He will throw dana. Don't go for dana. Under dana, there is net. You will get caught. So the hunter came and he saw the parrot singing this. He was very sad. बोला अभी क्या है गांव से इधर तक आ गए हैं parrot नहीं तो कबूतर. So he threw dana through the net and he walked away and he said next day morning I will come and collect the kabutar. Next day morning when he came, all the parrots were sitting on the ground eating the dana and singing the song. Hunter will come, he will throw dana. So the hunter laughed. He gathered all the parrots in his net, put them on his shoulder. As he was walking to the city with the parrots sitting inside were singing what? Hunter will come, he will throw dana. Now seems like a funny story, doesn't it? But many a times in spirituality, our knowledge stops at our intellect. Meaning we understand the message, but the bridge between understanding and practice, that bridge is not made. It stops at understanding. So the parrot story basically is telling us that we got 2 or 3 messages from today's session, and I'm going to repeat those messages. Message number 1 was a very simple message. Do not sleep that day without writing your gratitude journal. Half a page, takes 10 minutes, but buy 10 pens at least and keep them next to your journal. Because if you don't have, buy pens, 10 pens and keep them, you will spend 10 minutes searching for the journal or the pen or both, and therefore 10 minutes will be up, you will sleep off. So don't do that, right? Keep a good supply and write that 10 minutes. Force yourself to write every day, whether the day was good or bad. That is the bridge. It sounds like such a simple practice. 10 minutes gratitude journal. Every day you have to write new things. Will it change my life? Gunge ki mithai. The deaf man ate the mithai. He can't say how it is. Kya karna padega? Khana padega. We have to eat it. So similar it is with this very simple practice. If we do it, I can guarantee a rewiring of the brain. I can guarantee that we will start to feel the weight of gratitude on ourselves, and we will start to see our life in new light. Think. It's an extremely simple practice, but that will make the bridge between knowledge and conduct. Acharan. Conduct. Very important, that piece. The second part we were told was, why don't we become a little bit conscious about where I am hankering after, asking for, looking for, whatever you want to use, the world's approval of me. For that, what we were told? We were told, become more conscious about how I'm leading my life, about how much of my happiness is dependent on appreciation or approval of other people. Become conscious. slightly elevate my spiritual consciousness. That's all. We're all medically conscious. Otherwise, we'll be in coma, no? We are not medically unconscious. It is not medical consciousness I'm talking about. It is spiritual consciousness. It's not an esoteric concept, my friends. Spiritual consciousness means on a daily basis, I remind myself at the end of every day, this is the way to elevate your spiritual consciousness. Another 2-minute practice. You just run your day as a chalachitra, as a picture at the end of the day, and you see in that calm moment of looking at your day, how you depended on the world for your happiness. And whether you did not depend on your world for happiness, you were happy not because of, you are happy in spite of. Very big difference between the two. Because of versus in spite of. So can I elevate my spiritual consciousness by doing this daily introspection? And finally, the third part is, can I start to force my mind to see the small happinesses that I'm having on a daily basis? Can I start to see that? That again is a practice. We have to teach our mind this, because the mind is known only for one thing, looking at what we don't have. But these 32 teeth are there. One teeth has been extracted. Where will the tongue go? Where does it go? To that one gap. Are 31 are still there. Why don't you go there? No. What that gap mein jayega bar. Think. So I have to bring these practices to the fore of this part, my cerebrum, which is the only thing that differentiates. What is this called? Cerebrum? Yeah, something like that. The part that differentiates, the frontal lobe of the brain, which differentiates a human being from any other species, because it only exists in human beings and to a certain degree in chimpanzees and so forth. So if I bring it to the front of my consciousness and do these practices, then I will make the bridge between knowledge and conduct. Then it will be like the sugar which has been put into the coffee and stirred. Stirring takes effort. I'm not saying any of these three practices are easy. None of these three practices are easy. But the prize at the end of those practices are significant. So why not try to practice them? I do. I enjoy practicing them even now. So ये आजमाया हुआ इलाज है. I'm not telling you something which I don't do. I'm doing it. I'm enjoying it. So you also enjoy. Free. 100% free sale. Yeah, that's all it is. Okay, over to you for any questions you might have. Oh, we spoke for about 40 minutes. Yeah.
More than any questions, Sriniji, I would just like to share something which just happened to me. Before this session started, I spoke to you कि श्रीजी आप जानकी जी को इंट्रोड्यूस करना, जानकी जी आपको इंट्रोड्यूस करेंगे. श्रीजी बोला नहीं अनूप तेरे को इंट्रोड्यूस करने का है. Then I spoke to जगदीश जी आपके पास राइट अप है, मैं ड्राइविंग कर रहा हूँ, आप करे. बोला नहीं अनूप भाई आपको you can speak to about श्रीजी from your heart. You know you only introduce. बोला ठीक है इंट्रोड्यूस करता हूँ. अभी at the right time जब इंट्रोडक्शन का आया मेरा कनेक्शन गया. And that moment I felt so bad. मैं बोला, and it happened, I'll tell you, probably for the 5 seconds, and after 5 seconds in my car I started laughing. मैं बोला आधी घंटे से मैं इस दुनिया को समझा रहा कि आप बोलो, अभी मेरे को नहीं बोलने का चांस मिल रहा है तो मैं रो क्यों रहा हूँ यार. Let me laugh it out. And so this is the practical aspect of life. एक दिन कब अपना एक्सपायरी डेट होगा अपन निकल जाएंगे मालूम नहीं पड़ेगा. And so let us imbibe this laughter in our everyday life and practice. And every day today when I sleep I always pray to God, thank you for a lovely day. कल आंख नहीं खोला तो कोई गम नहीं है. आज का दिन जो बिताया to the fullest, कल हुआ आंख खोलेगा तो वापस से उसको सलाम मारेगा, नहीं तो कोई बात नहीं है. So inspiring, Sriniji, you, Janki ji, and all the others. Thanking all my friends who could join today. इतना अच्छा लगा है. And it was a share which I could not stop sharing. Over to everybody for questions. Thank you so much.
Yeah, actually, this is the first time it has ever happened that more people participated than those who were registered. We had 54 people and 56 people had actually turned up today. So I don't know how it has happened. It's just like it's like magic. And generally we get around 75 to 80%. But this was first time we went above 100% of people who registered. So really thanks to all those who had not given the names and yet decided to be with us today. Really, thank you so much. So we are opening this thing chat box. If you have any questions to ask, Keshavji, your experience and you would like to share something?
Jagdish, I think Rajiv ji wants to
Wants
ask
to
something.
Please, okay, go ahead. Unmute.
Rajiv ji, you want to ask something? You have to unmute yourself. Unmute किया है, but Rajiv ji, we are not able to hear you. You have unmuted yourself, but we are not able to hear you. Yeah. Okay. Till the time he comes, anybody else wants to take it up? Keshav, Jagdish, you were saying Keshav wants to take it up.
Keshavji,
Yeah, Keshav ji, yeah.
Keshavji, go ahead.
Keshav ji, yeah. You're on mute, Keshav ji. You also need to unmute.
Please unmute yourself, Keshav ji. Yeah.
Hello?
Yes.
No, I'm just enjoying and to the fullest whatever was being said, and I'm absorbing it. So at the present moment, I don't really have anything to say.
Yeah.
I'm just living in the moment, and I'm taking in everything that Srini and I'm just into it now. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
It was a wonderful session.
Yeah. Okay. Sushant wants to ask a question. Sushant, unmute yourself.
No, I had typed it in. So
Yes.
basically, a couple of times, both Sriniji and Janki referred to the Bhagavad Gita satsangs, what they have. So I was keen to know more about that actually.
Yeah, we can get back details to you. There are about, across Mumbai, there are about, currently about 60 sessions happening in a week. At various times through the week, on weekends and weekdays, at various times suited for various people. So I will leave my coordinates with, my coordinates are there with Jagdish ji and Nitesh Bhai and Anup ji. So you can pick it up from them, get in touch with me. We can then coordinate what's the best one that works for you from timing perspective and put you in touch. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, great. Thanks.
Thank you, Sushant, for your interest. Yeah.
Yeah, Rajiv ji, you're back now. Yeah, you can go ahead.
We are still not able to hear you, sir. We're still not able to hear you.
Rajiv ji, what you can do is probably take out the headphones and speak direct. Maybe, there is some button which you pressed, unfortunately, on the headphone. This had happened to me once, therefore I'm saying this.
No,
Unplug,
we can't hear you still.
unplug it from the laptop or the device.
Or you can type it out on the chat.
You can type it. Yeah.
Yes.
Anybody else? Any questions?
Yeah, I just want to ask that sometimes if we are very light, maybe the people in our environment, they feel that we are too casual with things and they get annoyed with that fact. So how to handle that? Like,
Janki ji, over to you.
That's something that we all face a lot. The idea of being light, the idea of not taking of taking anything lightly is not something that we necessarily need to project to the world outside. It's an inner feeling. It's what you feel, it's what you know, it's what you're convinced about. That's why very often we use this phrase, andar Rama, bahar drama. Thoda drama karna padta hai sometimes. I simplest example that I can think of is when somebody is not up to par and somebody is not doing their work. It can be my child, it can be a colleague, it can be a peer, it can be whatever. Doesn't matter. The fact is, while a certain amount of anger needs to come to the forefront, you need to show it probably sometimes when the case calls for it. Inside, you need to not let this affect you. And that's what taking it lightly is all about. Because if you think about it, in a water body, if you have ripples on the top of the water surface, there's no problem. It doesn't affect anybody in any way. Ripples are fine. But at the bottom, at the seabed, at the ocean bed, if you have plates shifting, you're in for trouble. You have what is called a tsunami. So if I'm not calm within, and I'm, speaking out in that boiling of anger and all of that which is going on within, then you're going to be in trouble, because you end up using a lot of fillers, what we call fillers. You start saying, that day also you didn't do this, 20 years back also you didn't do this, etc., etc. Whereas what we're trying to do is we're just trying to be in the moment and take care of the situation now. So it's important for us not to get angry within, but simply do what needs to be done, which means express certain words at this moment. That's why we have a phrase, a very common short form, which we call halt. We say, when you're hungry, angry, lonely, tired, zip, halt. Don't say anything. Yeah.
Yeah. So the similar question was asked to one Sarsi from Tejgan Foundation. So he was asked, should I raise my hand on my children? Can I raise my hand on children? So what he said was, first raise your consciousness and then you decide to raise your hand. If your consciousness is high, then you decide whether you want to still beat him, because maybe the child may require it, but your consciousness should be high when you are raising your hand. So similarly, when you are dealing with people, first raise your consciousness and then you decide what you need to do with them. I hope it's a little different dimension.
Very, very beautiful point, Jagdish.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Very well said, Jagdish. Very well said. Yeah, very well.
Yeah, very well said.
Yes.
Thank you.
So Srini, if anybody else has a question? Yes, Satish, go on.
Hi, I confess I missed the first few questions. I was in some other meeting. I just want to know the difference between humor and laughter.
I had trouble unmute myself. Yeah. Janki ji, you want to take that?
So laughter is more of an expression, right? Humor is a much bigger kind of concept. We're looking at humor in the big sense. I can look at my entire life as a dream, and therefore there's humor in every walk of life, in every aspect of it. But just like that question that we just now addressed, you don't always have to express it as laughter, you see. You don't always have to laugh at every situation, because it could hurt people around you. But within, you're looking at the humor of it all. You're able to see from a much, like they say in modern textbooks, they call it the helicopter view, the overall view, the balcony view, whatever view you call it.
Dance floor view.
Yeah, you've taken a step back and you're looking at the big picture. That's humor. Laughter is in the moment, and to be used very carefully, I think. Yeah. Thank you.
So Janki, would it be right to say, like हम लोग थोड़ा सा एक अचीवमेंट करते हैं तो ये हम लोग बोलते हैं ये मैंने किया, एक पेंटिंग बनाएंगे उसका अपना साइन मारना है, I had made this painting, and the Lord upstairs would be in what grand humor, like ये क्या पागल आदमी है, अरे क्या पागल है, इसका अगला क्षण का इसको पता नहीं है और ये मैं कर रहा है, ये क्या है क्या, would be the right perspective.
Absolutely. We always say, why is God laughing? You want to hear God laughing, all you need to do is share your plans. That's all you need to do.
So Sriniji and Janki ji, would you like to share about the work, Srini, that you were talking to us about the other day that you're doing, and also about your Guruji, and what's happening on those fronts as well.
Yeah,
It will be
yeah.
good for
I will
everybody.
share it in the reverse order. First about Guruji, because he's our inspiration really, of
Yeah.
what we are doing, and who we are today is entirely because of him. We are like I like to say, what we have shared with you today, none of it is our knowledge, right? We are also bhikaris, beggars, at the same dar at which everybody is, which is of the saints. Whatever was needed for living a happy life was already said by the saints in the past. There is nothing new under the sun that can be said on that topic. So you should not consider either me or Janki ji as very learned and or anything of that sort. All we did was we became messenger boys to bring that same dharohar, that inheritance of ours, which we got from the Guru Sishya Parampara, over to you, but in a more contemporary fashion. That's all we did today. So don't take us as very knowledgeable or anything of that sort. We are not. So all that we are today, we truly believe it is due to our Guru. Our Guru is Param Pujya Shantaram Bhandarkar Maharaj. He lives and works out of Udupi. I see as a latter-day saint, tradition of Vivekananda, or in the tradition of Vidyaranya. The reason why I say that is, here was Vidyaranya, who was a sannyasi. He was an affirmed sannyasi, Dandadari and ochre robes. He decided that he needed to do Rashtra Seva. He could not afford not to do Rashtra Seva. That was his way. He demonstrated his spirituality. So he was single-handedly responsible for establishing the Hakka Bukka Empire in Karnataka, which prevented the Mughal rule from progressing further into the south. That empire, Vijayanagara Empire it was called, lasted for 300 years. It was founded by Swami Vidyaranya. Vivekananda, if you read biographies of his, I've read 2 of his biographies, by Roman Rolland and another one by his Eastern and Western disciples. Very often he tells his brother disciples and his brother monks and his disciples, very often he tells them, spirituality is not about what you read or what you assimilate. It is about what you do with it for the teeming masses who have nothing. See, Nara Seva for him was Narayana Seva. So similar it is with our Param Pujya Guruji. He also truly believes that a spiritual person, his heart needs to beat for his country. Because we are, if you think about it, all of us around this call are in the top 1% of the world population. And you can't deny it, because that is research. That is actual numbers which have been proven, right, by wealth management firms which do those numbers. We are in the top 1% of the world population. We can't want more. We must give more. See? So that is Guruji's aim. His aim is, when your income level goes up, don't raise your standard of living. No. Increase your standard of giving. That is his view. So he has inculcated that in us, but he very clearly knows that the standard of giving can only go up if our living becomes simple. If all the time I am imbibing from the world how I should live, then a 1200 watch will not do. A 1.2 lakh watch will be required. And when I have more money, a 10.2 lakh watch will be required. It will not do otherwise, because I have to keep up with the Joneses. A 5 rupee pen will do exactly as a 60,000 rupee Mont Blanc pen. But unless I simplify my life, so what Param Pujya Guruji constantly has taught us is how to simplify our lives, and we have simplified our lives very, very largely in the COVID times. All of us know that during lockdown, we required 3 track pants and 3 t-shirts. Did we require anything else? Nothing. Life was so simple. So to go to office, do you think you require 20 shirts and 5 pants? You can't wear them at one go. See, even if you have a 5-bedroom flat, you don't keep an alarm every 1.5 hours to change bedrooms, because sara to occupy karna padega na kabhi to. You don't do that. You have a king size bed, you still have to sleep only in one corner, 2 by 6. That's your sleeping range. 3 by 6 at best. That's your sleeping range. So Param Pujya Guruji has taught us that simplify our lives so that our standard of giving goes up, and we need to do something for society to reflect the fact that spirituality has gone within us. So we do 2 or 3 things. We distribute Bhagavad Gita's free to villagers. right? We have distributed 1 crore Bhagavad Gitas for free to villagers. I would ask all of you all around this call a sincere, heartfelt request. We are zero in the game of publicity. Zero. We don't want any publicity. If there's a reporter on the call, if there's a newspaper person on the call, we have no interest in being publicized, please. You won't find our website, you don't find our Twitter account, you don't find our Facebook. Our Param Pujya Guruji's view is, देने वाला जानता है, लेने वाला जानता है, ईश्वर जानता है. ये 3 जन जानेंगे तो बहुत हो गया. दुनिया को बताने का जरूरत नहीं है. I have been told many times that we must popularize what we do so that more people will support us. I always tell them what Param Pujya Guruji tells us. We are not doing our work, we are doing Lord's work. If he wants his work done, he will send the resources to us, and that he has. From the time of Krishna till now, nobody has given 1 crore Bhagavad Gita free. We have. You don't know about it. We want you to forget about it also. See? We have done workshops for rural residential schools across India, free. We have sent 4 lakh books, very carefully curated books, expensive books, from Amar Chitakatha to Robin Sharma to Dale Carnegie to Ramakrishna Mission books on saints, to these very schools. 4 lakh books we have sent. Our volunteers have traveled 1 lakh kilometers across the length and breadth of India, literally from Jammu Kashmir to Kanyakumari and Kutch Bhuj to Arunachal Pradesh, and done these workshops in those schools. Why? Because the doing of this work for others who are underprivileged, with no demand for anything in return, no publicity, we don't want to be named, we don't want to be known for anything, is the cleansing of myself. Our country's problems, we can't import somebody from United States to fix them. You are seeing how many problems United States has? Can we import somebody from there to fix our country's problems? We can't. We are constantly looking for somebody to fix our problems. Param Pujya Guruji says, I am that person to fix the country's problems. I am that person. So therefore we started a Gurukul where we got 216 children whom we take after 12th and give them 5 years of free lodging, boarding, study, everything free. We spend 1 lakh per child. That Gurukul is in Udupi. We spend 1 lakh per child. It's a fully funded project. I'm not looking here for funds. I'm looking here for passion, mind you. Am I looking for passion? Yes, I'm looking for passionate people. Funds will come, friends. You'll never find a trust which says, I'm not looking for funds. I'm happy to say that. Funds will come when you find the passion within to do something. What are we doing with these kids? There are hundreds and thousands of trusts which are funding education. But our view, Param Pujya Guruji's view is that unless mundane education is connected to spirituality more deeply than what it is now, mundane education only engenders greed and much wants more. That's what happens with mundane education, unfortunately. Much wants more. So Param Pujya Guruji says, if we give a healthy dose of spirituality, practical spirituality of the sort that you heard today, not pedantic one, not to learn Bhagavad Gita by heart. I know of many old people who know Bhagavad Gita by heart, but they go home and fry their daughter-in-law. वो Bhagavad Gita by heart का कोई फायदा नहीं है, मित्रों. No point. So practical spirituality, when it's infused into their character, then they will become successful, no doubt. But their success, they will now surely share with the country. So our aim is, in the next 30 to 40 years, and yes, I look old, but there are many youngsters in our satsang. In the next 30 to 40 years, we will change the way India delivers its goods to the last mile. It's delivered through the bureaucracy, we will change that bureaucracy. Very quietly, under the radar, we have no interest. I'm sure there are many honest people in the bureaucracy, but there is also a need for more honest people. That's who we will supply. Very simple aim. All our aims are long-term. We have been distributing this Bhagavad Gita for the last 10 years. We're doing workshop last 10, 15 years. Giving books last 20 years. Are we continuing? Yes, we are still continuing to do. Who funds us? Individuals like yourselves who have found the passion for this. So we call it seeing is believing. This is a Standard Chartered line, by the way, but I have stolen it. Seeing is believing, meaning we tell you, you want to contribute to us, see what we do, acquire the passion, then contribute. We have no problem. Because all of this requires money. We have zero funding from government, zero funding from corporates. All of it is funded by professionals like yourselves who give from their post-tax salary to us. Honestly earned money coming to us for a noble cause. So our Param Pujya Guruji inspires us to do all these things. None of this is run by me or Janaki ji or any of us. We are not, we run a very flat organization, if you want to use corporate jargon. There is one Guruji and there are many sadhakas. So that's what we do. Our satsang has a very simple philosophy. Suna, mana, kiya to hi jana. I'll repeat that. Suna, mana, you heard, you understood. Kiya, unless you did, to hi jana, then only you will know. Manne se, janne se, you cannot go from mana to jana. You have to do kiya. So that's our philosophy which Param Pujya Guruji has inculcated into us, which inspires us to do something for this country. I didn't leave my corporate career. My corporate career left me. My bank told me they don't want me anymore. My guru told me he wants me. So it was a happy marriage. One divorced, immediately other married. See, it was very happy time for me. So I quit early only because I felt that I should spend the larger portion of my life giving back something solid to the country. Giving back something scalable to the country. That is the idea. So reach out to us if you have that passion and if you are interested in such things. We are a bunch of mad people, you might call us. Yeah, you might call us mad. Many people do. Yeah. But
so I would just like to add, when Shriji got married to Guruji, the entire Bharat also got married to Guruji. That was the whole thing.
Good one. Yeah. Yeah, I like that from Satish and I. Mad, making a difference. I agree with that. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that, Satish. Yeah. Thank you for your time and your, yeah.
Shriji, also, whenever, I don't know where is Guruji now and whether he visits Bombay, etc. But if there is an opportunity for all the members of Lost, whoever wants to have his darshan or satsang, etc., please do inform us. We will be very keen to, at least I will be very keen to meet him. And we'll look forward for his satsang in Mumbai whenever it happens, physically.
Yeah, Litesh, I'll inform. I'll keep everybody updated.
Yeah, because Guruji comes to Bombay at least once a year. And when he comes, he is very, very kind that he conducts sessions in various parts of Bombay where we have satsangs. So we'll keep you, no problem.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So if there are no more questions,
yeah.
Yeah,
you can now do the vote of thanks now. Yeah. You missed the opening, so you can do the closing.
So, really grateful to Shriji and Janki ji for sharing their knowledge, their experience and their wisdom with us. And in such small life incidents, they have, given us those wake-up calls of, not taking life seriously and not losing out our keys of, and being in the present and laughing life with every aspect, in every phase of our life, in every moment to moment. If we are in the present, we will always be able to laugh. So thank you, Sriniji. Thank you, Janki ji. It's always a pleasure to hear you and to share, you share from your heart. So it really goes and hits into our hearts. Thank you so much once again. And thank you for all the participants of Lost Key. I hope you would have found one of your lost keys at least in today's session. Thank you everybody for participating. Looking forward for some more sessions with Sriniji and Janki ji. Thank you everybody.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Jagdish, you want to add 2 words just for Sriniji and Janki ji?
Who is Satish?
No, you want to add 2 words for Sriniji and Janki ji?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy that, I connected with Srini back again. I now recollect him. I have spoken to him on the Podar Katta. So I have a word in there, and I remember that he was doing astrology at that point of time. I remember now that he is Ashtavakra, some astrology we have spoken about it. So thanks for connecting.
Not
once
bad,
again.
Jagdish. Huh?
Yeah, that day I couldn't see him well today, but today I could see him much better. So I realized he had now better shape, so I could recollect who he was.
I think it shaped his beard.
Told me
you and
were in the same batch together in Podar College.
We were in the same batch, and I have spoken to him, so I know it very well. So we used to sit outside at Podar Katta. So I discussed with them. So anyway, thanks, Janki ji, for your beautiful examples and the lively enthusiasm which you shared these stories and So we really have taken it to our heart, and definitely I can write that today in my journal. Thanking both of you all. So first thing I'm writing that, and I'll also thank all the people who have come here today, as participants. So really thank one of you. So I will write that down also in my journal. So it has been a beautiful day, and I wish you all a great weekend, and God bless you once again. Thank you so much.
Happy Diwali to everybody. Happy Diwali to everybody.
Happy to everyone. Yeah.
Thank you.
Srini, I will connect with you separately. I'll take your number from Anup ji. I have missed your number now. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you, Nitesh.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Anybody
Janki ji.
else would want to speak or share?
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Anybody wants to just share something?
Yeah, Rajesh Shana here. I was about to tell his laughter is contagious.
Yeah.
You are telling me.
Good one.
The only other thing I remembered is when we were young, we used to read these Mad magazines, which was the magazine from the US, which was really, really funny. And suddenly it reminded me of good old days, transporting back to the Mad magazine.
Alfred Newman, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Alfred Newman.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Namaskar.
Bye, Jagdish. Bye.
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 Happy Diwali.
Happy Diwali to all.